Hi everyone, welcome again. In today's video, I wanted to answer one of the most popular questions right now that I see in the community, which is how do I know that he or she is my twin flame? And how do I know if it's not false twin flame, if it's not catalyst, if that's not karmic? And hopefully, with this new way of understanding the process I'm gonna share with you, it will be easier for you to put it into your head, just to kind of wrap your head around the whole idea of the twin flame experience and which stage you are at and which kind of dynamic you're dealing with and what kind of soul connection you're dealing with. I think the biggest issue in current understanding of the process is that many people tie the twin flame experience to the specific person. That's a common state of understanding of the process. However, I have to tell you the broader picture of the journey, which means that the twin flame is an entire experience that happens to you. This is entire dynamic that characterizes the given soul connection. And especially for those twin flame type connections, they are very specific because they are requiring some kind of initiation from you. You need to reach certain level of vibration, which is regarding your mental state, regarding your psychological state, spiritual state, certain state of the development, so that you are introduced with this opportunity to engage in the soul connection that will be under this hood of the twin flame experience. So that may be the answer that many people have. Why did I felt and heard that I may have multiple twin flames? Because those are the informations that we were getting from the people. They were saying that those were kind of the messages that was giving to them, and they tried to understand that why it happens. Like apparently we were supposed to have just one twin flame, but somehow the universe or the guidance is telling me that that other person is also my twin flame. So if you try to understand that from this broader concept and treat the soul connections that connect to us as the soul level vibration. So basically when we are in a certain level of vibration, we are attracting certain individuals. So of course, when you're entering this ignition state as a twin flame, you're at a certain vibrational level and you will be paired up with someone who will be facilitate your further growth. Many times we are referring to those people as catalysts or those twin flames, like original twin flames, or those are the types of the connections that are shaking you for the very first time. And for a big number of people, those are connections that are causing very strong spiritual growth. Those will be kind of the initiatory soul connections that are starting you on a journey or helping to get you to the next level of understanding. But very often those very strong connections are also finishing or stopping you at this phase of the separation, that you feel that you kind of hit the wall with the person and you just split your ways and you start your healing journey. But at the same time, you know that this journey has to continue. And some people decide to continue their healing journey, and they will be coming into the connections that will feel very much in a similar vibratory state, so similar frequency, as there will be some kind of a level of similarity between their original twin flame and the person that comes after. There might be some similar experiences, situation that will be arranged, even to cut your attention even further, that this is some kind of a similar experience. That just shows that the universe has its own way to get engaged with you and this kind of like soul dynamic, as if it's your soul has a given path, and somehow your personal twin flame experience will be kind of circling around this specific type of dynamic. So maybe you will see that those similar soul connections, somehow they are having some common patterns, like either some similar traits of personality from your twin flame regarding and some other connections if you compare them, or maybe all of them are characterized by a long distance obstacle, that you're both in a different side of the world and it seemed to be repeating pattern. in general, there will be some level of similarity between those connections that are coming to your life that will cause you this kind of a confusion, like why I feel like I have someone that feels like my twin flame, but this is different person, how it's possible, and who is this real twin flame. So again, coming to this understanding that the twin flame experience is the whole dynamic that happens to you, and it's meant to show you like the guidelines how to build a healthy relationship based on this footprint that you have as a soul. So just imagine that the twin flame experience or soul experience for you will be characterized by certain experiences that you have to come across during this journey. So there is certain scenario that you should go through, and sometimes it happens that you cannot continue the journey with one specific person because for whatever reason you are matched at certain level, you progress, but the pace of your development didn't match anymore, which caused this vibrational mismatch, and some people are just kind of sometimes falling off from the journey. That's why those separations are happening. But at the same time, keep in mind that many people are getting this second, third, fourth shot with another person, and they are being matched with some other soul connections, and in many cases they are positive, like they are meant to help them to grow further. This is a very important characteristics of any of those soul connections that can be characterized under this twin flame dynamic. They are meant to help you to get back on track in your spiritual evolution. So just imagine the original twin flame experience when you're coming into this ignition and the first touch with this bubble of face and just coming across those divine energies that are combining you and another person and divine, the whole unified field that you're experiencing for the first time. This just shows you the potential that what can be the dynamic between you and another person in the universe. So this first ignition, it just kind of shows you what is the right pattern, what that you should strive for towards your spiritual growth. So once you get this pattern into your soul as an imprint or into your human understanding as well, you know what you're striving for. So even within this separation, you will be having this subconscious guidance that will look for you those experiences and just further or facilitate further this growth on a spiritual level. So if you're persistent, and our souls are very persistent in just guiding us towards the right path, you will be guided to those next connections that can reach you at this higher vibrational level that the previous connection was just unfortunately not able to join you with. That's why it's important to understand how the process really works, that as you progress and as you evolve, you are increasing your vibrations, and that will be natural state that some people will not be able to join you further on the journey. And it's not a punishment, it's not, you're not doing anything wrong. The whole purpose is for you to show you that some things that are temporarily good for you, they may not be healthy for you in long term. So sometimes we are getting connected on this level of similarity in terms of vibrations, but very often the same type of connections are meant to mirror to us the things that we still need to improve, we need to heal, since we are operating from those subconscious patterns. Main things, as I understand, what characterizes those kind of twin flame dynamic soul connections can be first, this kind of connection causes you strong spiritual growth, help you to pass certain threshold, and you can see that you will be replaying those most characteristic stages, meaning this ignition and bubble of phase, runner chaser dynamic, like you will be trying to work within the field of yourself and another person, and there will be those pulling, pushing. So that will be replayed scenarios, like you can see that with multiple people. But it's just again for the sake of showing you the similarity that you're really going through the same process but with multiple people. And it will be repeated over and over until you will get the concept that it's really happening to you in this kind of like a cycle. And what can clarify for many people is, maybe if you imagine that some people are going through those runner and chaser stages for years. They try to get together, they try to make things work, but simply they don't seem to work. While for some other people, once they decided to stop focusing on other person and they decided to move from this chasing energy, they are getting new connections in their life. But it doesn't mean that they are escaping the twin flame experience. They are themselves as the individuals, they are still twin flames. Going out from this chasing and running, you're not abandoning your journey. Like, you will still be engaged with a twin flame connection, because as we remember, the twin flame connections, they are eternal. Like, you cannot break them apart. It's just up to you if you want to continue them on your part, your own take on this twin flame experiences. So you have your own path. At the same time, there will be always some individual that will be joining you on their side. So it's up to you whether you just want to go with the flow or not. And it's not even up to you. There is this level of faith that when you're at a certain level of vibration, there's always some match that matches your vibration, because there is no such thing as limits in this universe. There's always someone that is ready to work with you, as long as you're open for it. And it's in the best interest of the energies to continue working with this unified field within two people if they are ready to work on that. So just to repeat, the whole twin flame experience is a dynamic, is a characteristic dynamic that talks about how soul connections can develop. And if you're in this twin flame community and you come from this paradigm, you have a chance to continue with this experience as long as you want. You can define the pace of your development. And at any time, if you feel that you're stuck and there is some level of passiveness that you have to wait for someone because you feel you've done your part, but the counterpart doesn't seem to work, doesn't seem to move anywhere, it's engaged with someone else, and you clearly see that it's not moving on from that side, and you become this passive chaser that it just waits for another to awake. You just need to know that you have a choice to actually be consciously aware that you want to continue the journey with someone else who's actually ready to do that, who's ready to join with you at the same level of awareness, someone who understands those things as well as you understand them, who is ready to accept the potential that this energy field that you're able to create, he's accepting or she's accepting that she wants to work with you to develop it even more and work with those energies. So maybe the last part is, for me personally, twin flame is a person who consciously chooses to work with you, who consciously chooses to walk this path with you. You don't have to chase them, you don't have to get engaged in any of those dynamics. There is no energetic loss in these terms. There is no disbalance. There is just this harmony, understanding that where are both sides and where do we fit, and do we see those energies that are between us, and are we ready to work with them. So at any point of your journey, that's a given. Like, that's your right as a soul to have those soul connections ready to manifest as soon as you're open enough, as soon as you just put aside your emotional detachments, and as soon as you're ready to progress despite the external circumstances. So if you feel that you're currently in the stage that your journey seems to be stuck at some moment, you feel like your twin flame counterpart doesn't seem to work on themselves, or they didn't want to continue even communication with you, know that it's up to you. This is your responsibility to choose Do you want to actively get involved in your spiritual journey, or you want to stay in this passive waiting mode? So if you feel ready at the same time to be consciously connected with another individual, just put this intention out there. Like, your soul knows best what's most appropriate for you, and you would be surprised how many other opportunities are out there other than waiting, other than trying to understand what your twin flame counterpart is not doing, and trying to understand why the separation happened and when it's gonna end, because this is not the proper way. The moment you put your energy towards the separation and what you don't have, you're looking towards the past instead of focusing on a present moment and just really embracing the separation stage and being ready for anything that comes after. So hopefully that helped to understand those very confusing terms and definitions. If there is something that you want me to talk about, feel free to reach out or put that in a comment. And good luck, and see you in another video.